In this series, we talk to some of Adelaide's best marketing experts and business owners about what works with marketing. We even get some of their secrets too. Welcome to Inside Marketing. Hi, I'm Michaela Gilbert and welcome to Inside Marketing. Today I'm interviewing Richard Miller from Crisp Advertising, and we're here at the Benjamin on Franklin Hotel on Franklin Street in the city, and this is such a cool pub, isn't it?
It really is. Thanks, because it's like being back in my stately home in England. So.
It is a little bit like that, isn't it? So tell me a little bit about Crisp Advertising and what your role is there.
Sure. So Crisp Advertising started around about 7 or 8 years ago, and we're a full-service advertising agency focusing on retail and hospitality industries. I'm one of the founders, and I'm the creative director. Okay,
so from one creative director to another, yes. This is really exciting today. We get to talk strategy. Yes. So tell me a lot of people get bogged down into the day-to-day tactics of how to market their business. Let's strip that back to, rewind, right back to strategy. Can you tell me a little bit about what are the key important things that every business in South Australia should be focused on?
Sure. Look, we have a bit of a policy that we've got to respect someone's brand, but we also understand that, especially in retail, you've got to make the till ring. You know, so getting that balance between brand integrity and a retail offer is really key. So our motto, you know, creativity that builds brands and sells stuff, is really what we're all about. And the biggest challenge now, I feel, is getting cut through. There are so many businesses and retailers who are all pretty much white noise, just doing the same thing. So getting some cut through in your creative is one of the biggest challenges now. The clients that we have now are the clients that we've had since the start of our business. So, you know, we go on a journey with them and really get involved and really understand the business intricately. We spend a huge amount of time in their businesses, you know, particularly the retailers. You know, we visit the shops on a regular basis and understand what they're doing and look at the customers and look at who is shopping there. And I feel like the strategy behind creative leading the force is fairly different for a retail advertising agency. Yeah. Lots of retail advertising agencies will put discount ahead of anything. Yes. Because discount is a shot of adrenaline in the arm for a retailer. You go to market with a shit hot offer, you will get people through the door that weekend.
Right.
But guess what?
They
won't
be
back next weekend. And they're going to wait until that shit hot offer comes back before they shop with you again.
And then they want a bigger offer.
Exactly right, yeah. And the retailer goes, crikey, we put that offer out and the shop was full. But look at your margin, look at your GP. You know, you've sacrificed GP, you've bastardised your product and brand, and you've not got consistent sales.
The spend per head's gone through the floor.
Yeah.
People are listening here and they're in marketing or they have a business. How do you think people can go about starting working on a strategy?
Sure. I think the first thing you've got to identify is your business's unique selling proposition. And quite often, especially retailers will go into, oh, we've got great service. Well, everyone thinks they've got great service. So let's find what's really unique about you as a business, and that's going to be different across the board. We've got to understand that the consumer does want to see value, and they definitely want to feel that they're getting a really good deal, but that doesn't necessarily have to be a discount off price. So let's figure out how we can create a win-win scenario. For example, we've recently put a campaign together for Noodle Box, and our strategy was to go out with a competition to win a holiday to Southeast Asia. Now, we did a combined deal with Flight Centre, and all they really wanted in return was the database of entrants. So that campaign in itself, the actual prize has cost the client nothing, but the value of that is really essential to the campaign, and it's what's driving foot traffic.
The Noodle Box competition, what made you come up with such a significant prize? Have you trialled smaller offers and they didn't work?
Look, we feel like smaller offers happen all the time, especially in that industry, because it's fairly low value, high volume. So we wanted to do something that really emphasised the current new dishes that are on offer. So that the current new dishes are Southeast Asian dishes. So we thought, well, Southeast Asia as a location is a great holiday destination. So why not give them the opportunity to taste a dish from Southeast Asia and then visit the country it came from?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so, you know, a $5,000 holiday now, it's a luxury. You know, people nowadays, they can't necessarily afford luxuries. We're all sort of scraping by with the necessities nowadays. So to win a $5,000 holiday would be a great prize for most people nowadays. And I would suggest probably better than 10% off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you've got a competition like that? How do you roll that out for a client? Like, what were the mechanisms of getting that information out?
Yeah, sure. Well, look, we target a demographic, and that's key. In Noodlebox's case, they're looking to the 25 to 54, you know, double income, no kids kind of audience. So professional couples is a predominant driver. So people who might go to work during the day and come home and sit together at night and watch TV.
Yep.
So TV was our medium of choice, and we've also put together some Facebook strategy and some point of sale. So when people walk in store, they can see the point of sale, and when it comes up on the Facebook feeds, and they can go and enter through there as well.
And how are you finding TV at the moment in South Australia?
Yeah, it's a question that we get asked all the time, because I think TV's kind of had a hard run in the media in terms of how it now reaches an audience because of its fragmentation. Now we see that fragmentation as being a major opportunity.
Okay, explain.
Yeah. Well, look, I feel like the way the TV stations have gone now really enables you to get to a different kind of audience and target your audience. Whereas when you had the three networks just on their own, 7, 9 and 10, you know, it's quite broad.
Yeah.
Whereas now we've got stations that are specific to a particular demographic. You know, 7.2, for example, will target an older audience, and 1HD a younger audience, and you know, it's much easier now to target a demographic. And of course, we're buying media on efficiency, not necessarily on the dollar value of the spot. So the dollar value of the spot has dropped because the audience on that particular time slot has dropped.
Yep.
But the cost efficiency is similar to how it was before. So you can still buy a cost-efficient schedule. The challenge is to buy reach rather than frequency. But if you're happy to put a frequency schedule together, it's I feel a great opportunity on TV these days.
Yeah, but it comes down to content, right?
Absolutely, it does.
So just because you can afford TV doesn't necessarily mean that you can create the content to go on TV. So, I mean, it's finding that unique selling proposition again. And how do you go about working on a TV campaign for a client?
Yeah, look, we've got a bit of a philosophy that creative without strategy is called art. Yeah. And creative with strategy is called advertising. So to put some strategy behind the creative is really key. So in terms of, for example, the offer that we talked about with Noodlebox, and you know, there are other examples of that. You know, I might talk for a second about Essential Beauty.
Yeah, cool.
So we were asked by Essential Beauty to put a campaign together for waxing, and the master franchiser of the business, he's a very enthusiastic guy, and he does love his cutting edge advertising. So we were asked to put something together that was really, really cutting edge. And he really just wanted to go out and tell the world that they wax ladies' private parts.
Excellent.
But obviously we can't say that on TV.
Can't you? You can't say that. You can't say we wax ladies' private parts on TV.
Well, probably could have said that, but
that wasn't exactly what he wanted to do.
What I couldn't say was what he did want me to say.
Okay.
So we, you know, and I'd probably do my best thinking lay on the couch or standing in the shower, and I was laying on the couch one night, and it suddenly dawned on me that maybe I can say we wax those areas of women's anatomy. But let's just say it in a different way. So I created a campaign called Mary Huff, and the story of Mary Huff was that she had a ducking philema.
Okay.
Yeah, and an Essential Beauty faxed her wanny.
Faxed her wanny, fantastic, excellent. And that you're allowed to say on television?
We did get allowed to say that on television. The campaign was on air for 3 weeks, and it got absolutely tremendous amount of PR. Not all good, you know, we got a huge amount of complaints. I was dealing with 20 odd complaints a day, but it got an article in the New York Times. It featured on Sunrise. The guys on Sunrise talked about it on the couch. And yeah, Essential Beauty got a huge amount of PR out of that campaign, and that's because it had cut through. You know, it stood out from what was on TV. It's not white noise.
Yeah, and how does that relate to the tills ringing though? Yeah,
well, his objective was to sell franchises.
Okay.
And what he wanted to do was attract people to Essential Beauty that thought along the same lines and appreciated that kind of cutting edge marketing.
So what happened?
We tend to be a bit of a conservative market here, particularly in Adelaide, and I think the innuendo of that ad really upset people. Now, we did run it after 8:30, so we didn't, you know, specifically want to go out there and upset young kids or anything like that. But you know, the nature of what we were doing was innuendo, and to me, it's all. It all boils down to the interpretation. You know, so people interpreted what we were trying to do in a negative light without seeing the fun element behind what we were trying to do. And the complaints that were coming through were of exactly that nature. You know, you're saying words like, you know, huff doesn't mean huff, it means muff, you know, and wanny doesn't mean wanny, it means fanny. We didn't say that. So the way we dealt with it was just to respectfully write back an explanation as to what we're trying to achieve with that creative. And it doesn't placate everyone, you know, some people are just serial complainers. And the stores also got some in-store complaints. And at that point we did decide to pull the ad off air.
Okay.
It got a good run, it got a 3-week run. We pulled it off air after 3 weeks, and then we revisited that creative and we did water it down a wee bit. So we took the same elements and the same concept and we watered the language down as a respect.
And how did the client handle all this sort of disruption?
Yeah, well, in a way, loved it because, you know, it got so much PR that, you know, no publicity is bad publicity, of course.
Yeah.
And they sold franchises from this. Some of the store owners themselves got a little bit upset that some of the staff were being spoken to in a disrespectful manner about the ad campaign. And that's why we decided to pull the ad, because we wanted to protect the staff themselves. Yeah, so it caused waves, it did what we set out for it to do, and it achieved its objectives. And out of respect, we took it off air. We didn't have to, we weren't told to, but out of respect, we took it off air, we watered it down, and we went back to market with it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Richard, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
very much. And to everyone out there, stay inspired. For more inside marketing videos, head to newstylemedia.com.au.